Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of A Storm in a Teacup, the podcast. I'm joined, as usual, by my co-host Sam.
I am Sam.
He is Sam. I feel like that's like our normal intro now.
Yeah, no, I don't know how it happened. I think it's just something I randomly said and then
It
we've
it
kind of ran
was,
with it.
because that was in like I can't remember what episode. It's either the first or the second. I
I
think
think
it
it
was
might have
one
been
of
the
those.
first, yeah.
Say that again.
I think it might have been the first.
It might have been. I think it's just you didn't know what to say because me and Sam were actually discussing this. When either one of us is doing the intro, we both agreed that the person who isn't kind of doesn't know what to do with himself. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, that's totally the case. Because I remember in the first one, I was literally just looking straight at the camera and nodding, just so. But no, we're getting better at this whole podcast thing. I'm enjoying it.
I think we are as well. I've turned you down loads on Skype, by the way, so I couldn't hear you just when we were talking at the same time. That's why I asked you to repeat yourself.
I'm going to turn you down even more actually, because your big gob is hurting my ears.
Yeah, as usual.
No, I'm just thinking you're going to come up on the audio. Okay, there you go.
But
Oh.
yeah, guys, this is a pretty special episode because yesterday, as you can tell by these balloons, was my birthday. So yeah,
You kind of ruined my joke.
oh god,
Because I was going to say that it was John Cena's birthday and Gigi Hadid's birthday, which it also was. So you're in good company with April 23rd.
and Shakespeare.
So.
Don't forget Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but to celebrate my birthday, I have a fine selection, and by fine I mean a selection of 3 whiskies that I have acquired for my birthday. I'm going to start off with one that was mentioned in 2 of them were mentioned in the first podcast actually when I spoke about whiskies, and the first one is this little bottle over here, which is the Secret Isle, which was bottled for me at a whiskey shop in Oban. So I'm just gonna grab my little glass of that and just say cheers to being 21. And Sam, if you'd like to kick off with your teacup, go for it.
Yeah, sure. I was about to say though that yeah. So the teacups are gone this episode. We're having a bit of fun just because of Charlie's birthday being yesterday. When we're recording this, so I have JD and Coke Jack Daniels. Well, Jack Daniels honey, and then I've just got 2 Budweisers. So I've got the whole Witherspoons experience today.
For anyone
So
that's,
I will also pour a drink.
for anyone that's watching, by the way, these are sippers whiskies. That's why there's not a lot of them poured. And this one, the Secret Isle, it obviously, as you've seen, it's coming in a small bottle, so I'm trying to savour it. It was a birthday gift. The second one you'll see, what's in the glass was the last of it, and the third one again, even though it's a bigger bottle, I've poured some more, but I'm trying to savour it. So yeah, I'm not a lightweight. I'm just savouring my sippers whiskey, but I'm pretty much done with my Islay. But yeah, to the age of 21.
Was a lot louder than I anticipated.
Say that again, sorry.
So yeah, my recap. Again, not an awfully productive week, but a lot of this week has been spent just doing stuff with you, mainly Fortnite. So quite a slow one.
Yeah.
But we did do something together, which I don't know if you want to talk about it in a bit or now. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about it now. Charlie and I attended a concert. Huh?
I've turned you up a little bit, by the way. Just because.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I'm not struggling to hear you, but I don't want to talk over you.
Oh yeah, that's fine. So yeah, we attended a concert, Travis Scott concert in Fortnite. So we're not breaking any social distancing rules or anything. And my whole takeaway from the thing is that I've never used an illegal substance, but I feel like if I did, that's what it would be like.
It was trippy. It was very trippy.
Yeah, no. So there was one point where he was in an astronaut suit and we were all underwater, just swimming around. God, I'm just trying to think of what else happened because it was it was like such a cluster of just random events.
Let's not forget the fact that we were to scale and he was a giant.
Oh yeah, no, that's probably important. The, I don't know if it's annoying, but like the disappointing thing was that it wasn't like a live concert, which you probably think it would be hearing the word concert, but it was just like more of like a show with like the studio versions of the songs.
Yeah.
But it was still really crazy. Quite a lot of fun. But yeah, just super trippy and random. I didn't know what was going on.
I mean, I sent you that video of someone talking about the Travis Scott Fortnite skin, and in the comments of that video, a lot of people were saying, "Oh yeah, like that was hard. Like we really enjoyed the concert thing and stuff like that." I mean, I thought it was cool. I'm glad we didn't have to pay for it. If that was like a battle pass exclusive or whatever, but it was just something different in it. Like you don't get stuff like that in. I know we spoke about video games a lot last episode, but you don't get stuff like that in video games, and I think it's a good thing to do, especially with the whole climate thing. And yeah, it was fun. And then me and Sam also went on to win a game after that. So yeah.
Oh yeah, kind of. Wasn't a proper game,
Yeah.
but still give ourselves credit. Pats on the backs all round.
And my sniping was on point in that game.
But honestly, I think that might be everything. But that being said, it's not really like my episode where I'm, it's not my special. It's yours because it's your birthday and everything.
Oh, stop it.
And we've got something coming up in a bit, which we're super excited to show everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about your birthday and everything that you've been up to this week.
Wow.
Before all that,
To start it off, because I finished my secret earlier, I'm going to go on to my second little shot of whiskey, and this is probably up there with one of my favourite whiskies. Again, it was from my trip to Scotland. It is this little bottle here, the Loch Fyne chocolate and orange Scotch whiskey liqueur. Obviously it's a liqueur. I've never tasted anything like it. Like, it's great. So I'm just gonna have my little drink of that before getting into everything to do with my birthday. Also, Jack Daniel's honey is a very good choice.
So I think like when it comes to strong alcohol, it's a solid. It's up there, either tied first or it's second place to Jägermeister.
Oh.
And I'm not. Do they still sell that? They do. Right?
Jägermeister
in England.
Yeah.
Because I know that they don't do it in Witherspoons anymore, which really sucks. Because it's a drink that I enjoy.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, Jaeger's like the one that goes down the easiest. You hear a lot of talk about like smoothness when it comes to strong alcohol, and I feel like that's like the smoothest. But I'm by no means like an alcohol expert or anything.
Well, that's kind of what I've got here. To be fair, obviously the whiskey liqueur is really smooth. Like, it just doesn't taste like whiskey. It just tastes like chocolate orange. Like, the Secret Isle, or is it the Secret? I always forget whether it's the Secret Isle or the Secret of Isle. But the Secret Isle, it's really smooth. It's a bit sharper because it's Scotch, and it's single malt. Is it single malt? It's either single malt. Oh, actually, it might be blended. But my third whiskey, which I'll get into a bit later when I talk about it, it's a single malt. It's smoky. It tastes a bit salty. But it's incredibly smooth. And like I said, it's a sipper's whiskey. But Teacup. I've actually got some notes today. So
I'll jump in first. Sorry.
Go for it.
But for anyone getting concerned that we're going to be like drunk on the podcast, not gonna lie, I might be a little bit. But Charlie has said for like ages and ages that he just like doesn't really get drunk, and I think the only time that he like did, I wasn't even there. So
see,
I don't think it ever happened. No, but from what I hear, that was a pretty messy night for you.
see, the thing is, like, I've never I don't want to say I've never been drunk, but I don't get drunk how you expect people to. I'm not like necessarily stumbling all over the place, slurring my words and stuff like that. A lot of times, if I like reach my limit, the most that will happen depends on what I'm doing. So, let's say if I was in a car and I've had a fair bit to drink, it is more likely that I'm going to throw up. But I'm not drunk texting people or nothing like that. But that was a very messy night full of mixing of drinks, which is something you shouldn't do.
Well, you had a front seat to the time where I got the drunkest. When I got, see, I got so drunk that it even has like its own name now, and I call it studio drunk because basically I'm a fan of like singing and stuff, and I'm trying to like get better at that, and maybe even like move into it if I can. So like we went to a music studio to just like mess around with singing and stuff, and Charlie played a bit of the drums, and we thought that it might be fun to buy some cheap vodka and some cheap Coke and then just drink that.
Can I just butt in for a second? By cheap,
Yeah, sure.
he doesn't mean like you got Smirnoff and then you've got Glens. He means Tesco's own brand vodka. That is just basically paint stripper. Like,
Yeah, no. So we looked for the cheapest thing that they had, cheapest Coke, cheapest vodka.
because we were poor.
And yeah, see, I've said this to you before, but it wasn't even a thing of like I was drunk and then I just kept drinking. It was literally a thing of I was drinking, and then I don't know what happened after that. Like it wasn't a progressive thing. It was 0 to 100. It was absolutely crazy. I think I threw up several times.
You did.
I think you said that it's a miracle that I didn't throw up in the Uber on the way home.
But I was terrified.
I don't know if this is going to make it take a bit of a turn, but my mum was even saying like she was thinking about taking me to like the hospital to see if I could like get my stomach pumped or some stuff. But no, I don't think it was that real. I think it was just one of those times where like you have to get that drunk just to know how far you shouldn't go, kind of thing.
I get that.
But yeah, sorry, your weekly Teacup.
Yeah.
I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. See, I'm just looking at my audio levels at the moment, and this is the first time that it hasn't really been peaking, so I'm hoping it's loud enough. But I'm gonna go over just some quick things that have happened this week before getting into like the bulkier stuff. The first one, I'm putting it in first just because I don't know if it happened in the last week or before that, but I have a specific Instagram account for my photography and visual art stuff. If you want, go follow it. It's in the description at Visuals by Charlie. I don't have a plug by me. But I was literally just gonna hold up a plug. But yeah, so I got a message through on that from someone followed me and then requested. Well, they sent a message and went into like my requested messages, and a guy thought that I had taken a picture of him, and was asking if he could post it and he'd credit me. So like I messaged him and because I didn't quite understand what his first message meant, so I was like, Are you asking to credit me for a picture that you've taken yourself or what? And he was like, I'm pretty sure you took a picture of me like last November and I was wondering if I could post it and credit you. And he was like, I can send a picture if you want. And I was like, yeah, please do. And it wasn't a picture that I'd taken. So I just said to him like, oh man, I'm sorry, but I didn't take this picture. And he was like, oh cool bro, thanks anyway. And just thought like, it got me thinking, imagine if like that's happened and someone's taken credit for a picture they haven't taken and it just blew up.
Yeah.
Like, because I could have easily said that I took that picture, but I didn't, so I wasn't going to say that I did. But this guy didn't have like loads of followers. We had a couple thousand, and I was just like, wow.
See, I was real confused when you said a guy thought you took a picture of him, because what I thought you meant was you took a picture of someone else, and then he was like, "That's me."
Yeah.
Picture of me. Give me copyright now.
Nah.
But yeah, no, I'm glad you clarified what you meant because I was real confused. But yeah, give Charlie's visuals page a follow.
Thank you.
Some real good photography on
Thank
there. Oh, I have a plug.
Go for the plug.
Plug.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, what's next on the recap?
A couple other little things. So this is gonna sound like so just like why, but so that's gonna be in the audio. My laptop's just had a notification for an email, and I'm gonna quickly turn those off right now. Um, see, this is the problem with being like a popular guy. Like so many emails come through. Let's just quickly turn those off. Uh, None. Okay, there we go. Back to the podcast. But so on my TV in my living room, um, I can't get it. I don't have a button on my remote for like inputs, so I can't change it from like live TV to my HDMI. Or no, I can do it on live TV, but I very rarely watch. I usually watch Netflix, and I can't change it from like Netflix to HDMI and stuff like that. And my TV, I don't know why, but it's slow. It's been acting a bit slow recently, and I'm not too sure why. Um, so I just looked up shortcuts for my TV. Bro, tell me why I've downloaded a TV remote on my phone that works on the TV in the living room and the bedroom. And
Well, what TV is it? A Samsung.
no, I have a JVC, but it's a JVC that has Amazon Fire built into it.
Oh, okay.
So
Because I think I've tried the Samsung one. It just didn't work very well. So
honestly, I was there just like with my phone, just like, huh? And it was just like, it's super easy to use, it's super fun, and I can sit here in the bedroom now and probably turn off the TV now Hat's watching it.
wow.
But
Just make a scream from the
she'll
other
be
room.
like, huh? She should be, no, she'll be like, Charlie, TV's broken. um,
Wait, does she know you've got it?
oh yeah, she's got it as well.
Oh, okay.
But she probably
So I was
just,
gonna say that's like a really good prank to play.
see, she'll think that I'm too busy recording the podcast to be doing silly little practical jokes like that.
Unless you can hear everything you're saying right now, then
Maybe.
then maybe not.
Another little thing, I handed in my penultimate uni assignment on Monday this week.
Ooh.
Yeah. One more assignment to hand in, and then that's me with university done. 3 years just done, and it's crazy.
3 years wasted.
See, now you say that, and I've asked all of my friends at the end of each year, was it worth the cost? And a solid like 95% of people say the experiences were worth the cost, but university itself wasn't. And like me and one of my friends actually sat down and kind of tried to work it out what we were paying for. Like, because obviously doing TV and media, we get access to like what they'd call industry standard equipment. And it's like, we very rarely use the studios. In fact, second and third year, I don't think I used the studios at all. So we didn't factor in a cost for that. But for us to hire out the camera that we usually hire out, for it to equivalent to, I think £9,000, we'd have to hire it out over like 136 times. And it's just like,
is that in the 1 year or the 3
in the
years?
1 year.
Oh wow.
So like it's one of those. Everyone's kind of like, is it worth it? I don't know. I'd say the experience I've had and some of the stuff I've learned has been worth it, but £27,000 just for the uni alone is just, it's a lot of money.
I mean, at least you're going to come out of it with the first, though. There's always that.
I hope so.
Yeah, you'll get it.
I very much hope so.
If you don't get it, I'll sue. So.
But speaking of coming out of university, I am right now in the middle of like a job application, for a company. So they've they've sent them my CV and cover letter. They got back to me and they've asked me to create like a 20 to 30 second video for them. So I'm literally doing that. I was doing it before the podcast. I'm doing it after the podcast, and that's like the second part of their application process. So it's not just me making it. I haven't got the job, but it's kind of like, we'll see how this goes and see where we can take you from there.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Did you say it was animation and stuff?
It is. So it's kind of confusing because I've gone for a videographer role, which by the sounds of it means like, you know, filming. And in the description it
Yeah.
meant like, you know, being hands-on filming. But what they've asked for is for me to create a 20 to 30 second advert that would be suitable for Facebook for a company that they've shown. And it can either be used with being animated or with free stock footage. There was no mention of me actually filming it myself.
I wonder why.
I'm not too sure. I don't know if it's because they wanted to make it easier for people. I don't know if they wanted to make it so people weren't going out and risking themselves with the whole climate of like going out and filming to make it look nicer. But yeah, it's a strange one. So I'm basically like trying to teach myself to animate, and I've done all right to be. I've done decently.
If I had to guess, I'd say it was to stop people going
Same.
outside, because them saying stock footage too doesn't make much sense, because I thought it was literally just animation, but yeah, I reckon it's to stop people going out.
Yeah. Something that has happened today, which was um kind of good. Me and Hat finally got like through to some estate agents, and they've been telling us about like viewings and stuff, and people being able to like view properties in like a safe way. So we might be able to go view some properties in the near future, and hopefully be able to move out of this place.
Is it viewing properties in person?
Yeah.
Because I've seen a few places where you can get like virtual tours, which is quite great.
There's a couple places that are doing that. There's a couple places which are basically like the estate agent will go, he'll open all the doors, and he'll let you just wander in, go in, come out, maybe speak to him within like a 2 meter distance, and then you go, and then they have to clean the whole house.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know that's just on the cards, because obviously me and Hat, we're not gonna put ourselves at risk to go view houses. Like, we're just calling up estate agents and being like, you know, is this available? When could we possibly come view it? And how could we view it? But yeah, to the meatier stuff now. It was my birthday, bro, and I had I was just about to swear, to be honest. I've had a fantastic birthday. Honestly, I've had one of the best birthdays. Considering that we have been in lockdown, I've had one of the best birthdays ever. Yeah, like it. It didn't even feel like I was in lockdown. Honestly, it didn't. Hat went above and beyond with it, and like, you know, I don't even know where to begin thanking her. Excuse me.
Well, where I'll say like starting to describe it is just say like what happened throughout the day. So what happened when you woke up?
Wow. So Hat woke up before me to set up the living room, because basically from Monday she's been blowing up balloons, so I haven't been able to go into the spare room all week. Because she's been blowing up balloons and keeping them in there. But she's blown up a load of balloons, put them all over the living room. Got me big helium-21 balloons, put banners up. And she wanted to have my cake like ready for when I came in. And because I video called my mom, so my mom could see me like blow out the candles on my cake and stuff like that. And the cake was insane. It was absolutely insane. One of Harriet's friends, someone she used to work with, Wendy, made it, and it was my camera. Like, Hat didn't even ask it to be that specific camera, but it was my camera. Like, every detail down to just like, she painted a little bin on the button where there's meant to be a little bin and stuff like that. Like,
See, what's insane as well is that I didn't see it until like quite late on in the day, your cake. And then you said like, oh yeah, it's on my Instagram story. And the first one that came up was Hats, so I went on her story to see if it was on there. And then I saw a camera and I was like, oh yeah, no, that's just a camera. So I'll go to Charlie's story instead. And then it clocked like, wait, that was a cake. So yeah, it looked insane and insanely realistic as well. So
honestly,
Wendy did a great job.
Like,
Shout out Wendy.
Shout out Wendy. Shout out Wendy. Like, she even put, because Hat wanted pictures on there as well. So it was like a picture of me and Hat, a picture of my dog Max, and on like sugar paper. and then on the back where the screen is on the camera was a picture, and it honestly it was insane. Best cake I've ever had, and it tastes delicious.
What was the
It
picture?
was it was just a picture of me and Hat.
Oh, okay, that's cute.
And the fact is everything on the cake was edible. Like the only thing that wasn't edible was the dial on the top of my camera where you can change the settings. She put a cocktail stick in that so you could actually move the dial.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool.
Honestly, it was insane.
See, that's something that always annoys me about those cake shows where
Mm.
they like make this like really great looking cake and then only like half of it's
Yeah.
edible because like the rest of it's just like just stuff to hold things up and just to make it look
Yeah.
nice. So the fact that most of it was edible was pretty damn
But
impressive.
literally 99.9% of it was edible because the cocktail stick was like it was a quarter of a cocktail stick. It was tiny.
Well, you can stick it in your mouth like a cowboy. So
It wasn't even like you could accidentally eat it as well. Like you can move the dial, so you instantly go to pick up the dial, and you can just see it. So you just take it out.
wow.
But yeah, then we open my presents, and that is where I'm gonna go on to my final whiskey. So let me just grab it. Ugh.
I'll get my Budweiser as well.
I love it. This is a bottle of Talisker Sky whiskey. It's a single malt Scotch whiskey, and it is from the distillery where my granddad was born and raised in the Isle of Skye. So
Budweiser.
say that again.
That was just me saying what my drink was. Just
But
mine's got no fancy backstory. Just beer.
but yeah. So like, the whiskey does hold like a bit of sentimental value, because it's just like my granddad drank whiskey. Like everyone just says, like, whiskey, it's a Scottish man's drink, like, and Scotland has its own brand of whiskey. Like, all Scotch is whiskey, but not all whiskey Scotch. Like, and I remember speaking to you and saying that I wanted a bottle of it, and I was really worried that I wasn't gonna like it, and I love it. It's literally one of my favorite whiskies. It's definitely my favorite single malt Scotch, and yeah, it's incredible. And
Well, yeah, the reason you were telling me you wanted it was because of like your granddad and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So the fact that it's like a good whiskey as well, like, really helps. Something we forgot to say, by the way, because before we filmed this episode, because we've been planning it for like a week or so now,
yeah,
is drink responsibly, because being drunk or being studio drunk is not fun
Yeah.
or cool. So
make sure you're of legal age in wherever you are. Now I can drink in America, legally, so that's fun. But yeah, drink responsibly. There you go. Don't drink and drive, because that is some. Oh, my camera's just died, so I'm quickly gonna go turn that back to.
oh, dance
I
time.
mean,
yeah.
not dying.
Ooh.
It's stop recording.
I don't know any of those TikTok dances. I was saying earlier to my sister about like how I feel really old because I don't know any dances. I only know like whips and nays and dabs and
There we
stuff.
go. My camera's back on. But
Oh, okay, great.
excuse me, big thing. Do not drink and drive, because I don't know if many people can see it, but they should be able to see it because how good the quality is on my video. I have a scar right there on my forehead, and that scar is from a car crash that happened the day before my 7th birthday. So I spent the first little bit, like first couple hours of my 7th birthday in hospital, and it was because the person in question who was driving the car was drunk. So do not drink and drive. Drink responsibly. But
I think I may have had a drink driving experience as well.
oh really?
But mine didn't end quite like yours because I just came out with like a case of whiplash, I guess you'd call it. But that money was quite nice because I was like 10. I think we got like £1,000. So 10-year-old getting that much money. Yes, party time.
Well, yeah. Hat's mom got me this whiskey, and like I've just drank some of it. Like I said at the start, it's a sipper's whiskey. I love it. I absolutely.
Did you say there was something else you were going to talk about as well?
In terms of
I
this
think you may have.
podcast, or
Yeah. I think you were about to talk about something else before we started talking about drinking responsibly.
I was just gonna carry on with what happened with my birthday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's it.
Oh, don't forget the Travis Scott though. Goosebumps
Yes.
and the sicko
Yes.
modes that happened at the end.
Yeah.
Quite a crazy way to end a
It
birthday.
was because, like, I
Um,
went through all my presents. Um, there is a present that I need to tell you about, Sam. Actually, um, me and Hat were meant to go to Manchester for my birthday. Obviously, we couldn't because of the whole situation that we're in. Um,
mm,
and she let slip that I was meant to be going to Manchester for my birthday while we were in Glasgow for her birthday. And she did say that we have to go to Manchester because it's the only place that we can do my main birthday present. I was like, okay. And, like, I didn't look into it because I didn't want to ruin the surprise. Um, Bro, she has got it
mm.
so I can go feed turtles in the Sea Life Centre at Manchester.
Wow. Um, I don't think people really know your history with
Oh,
turtles and stuff, so that's probably worth a mention, just so they know why it's such like a big deal.
so,
But I'll speak on before you
go
explain it.
on.
That pretty much as long as I've known you, you've been like a fan of like some kind of turtle and had some kind of like turtle trinket on you. Like I know you're a big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I don't know if that's related, but I know I think you used to have this little like wooden turtle as
I
well.
did.
I can't remember if it was like a necklace or a
It was a
bracelet
necklace, yeah.
or yeah. That was really cool, man. But yeah, go on to talk about why turtles
Ooh.
are so important
See,
because I know it's got like a super cool meaning for
yeah,
you.
this is like a pretty personal story, actually. Um, I think the main people in my life have been told this story at least once. It's not a story that many people know, so let's just share it to the world. Um, so, firstly, turtles, they don't play a role, but there is like mention of them in the Hindu religion. Um, I mean, when you go to the Hindu temple, so I always go for Diwali. Um, you go around the Hindu temple and like you give something to each of the shrines to each god, and one of them is a turtle. That you can.
Turtle God.
It's not so much a turtle god, but it's an incarnation of. I'm pretty sure Ganesh. Don't quote me on that one. I'm pretty sure Ganesh or Vishnu. Um, like made themselves appear as it in one of the stories in
Wow.
the Hindu religion. Um, but the reason I like turtles so much is so as I mentioned in the previous podcast, I'm pretty sure the one just before, my mom and dad are separated, and they have been since I was about like 4, and uh, it's mad. I think I've told you this story. I'm pretty sure. Um,
Yeah, you must
yeah,
have.
but so we my dad still saw us, and we still kind of spent time together as a family because my mom never stopped my dad seeing his kids. And I remember going to the Sea Life Centre in Birmingham, and in the Sea Life Centre there's this 360 tunnel, and it's basically you're on a bridge, and there's a tank of water that's around you. Um, and I was on my dad's shoulders when we went through the tunnel because I wanted to touch the top of the tunnel because, like, man's small. Um,
Still are.
Still am. I can't remember how old I was at this time, but I was fairly young. And when when I was on my dad's shoulder, the turtle, because they've got two sea turtles that are in um the tunnel, and one of them went over the tunnel and like just stopped above me, because there was like a ton of people in the tunnel, and like we were moving really slowly, and it just stopped above me and just didn't move, and like its head was like kind of like above my head. So like I reached up and I touched my hand on the glass, so it felt like I was trying to touch the turtle's head. Um, and I was like saying to my dad, like, dad, look. And I looked down, and my dad was looking at my mom, and they were holding hands. My older brother was holding hands with my mom, and like for the first time in ages, it felt like we were like a family. And like yeah, I just went from there. That turtles were my lucky animal. And
God, that's got me emotional,
yeah,
man. Jeez.
yeah. It is. It's a very sweet story. But yeah, turtles
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
turtles have always been my lucky animal since. So I've always got. I mean, I'm literally looking. I've got a turtle plush teddy on the chest of drawers that my camera's on. Um, there's turtles all over the flat. I plan on getting a tattoo of a turtle. In school, I was known as Turtle Boy because I had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle backpack and it was a turtle shell, and I had it all the way from. I started wearing it in like year 10 all the way to the end of sixth form, and in year 11, I don't know if they do it in every school or in every country, but here in England, well, Great Britain to be fair, because I've seen it in Scotland, we usually wear shirts to school, and on the last day of year 11, so our last day of high school, we usually come in with a spare shirt or come in with our shirt and get people to write messages on the shirt because it's usually a white shirt. So we usually bring in a marker and people just write messages on the white shirt. I did that, but I also spray painted my turtle shell white for people to write on because that's what people knew me for. Um, but yeah, I mean, they've always been lucky, and I've always said I want to hold a turtle like a baby turtle and help it get to the sea or swim with turtles or have an interaction with turtles. And to go and feed turtles is absolutely insane. Like,
You know, that's amazing.
I
Yeah.
cannot wait. Um, that's the thing. That wasn't the only like amazing gift she got. I mean, I studied astronomy at GCSE. Space and stars and anything interstellar has always like fascinated me, and named the star after me. And well,
Wow.
she actually named two because she got me one, and the way that constellations and seeing stars works is the northern hemisphere sees different stars to the southern hemisphere because we see up to our horizon line and they see up to theirs. And the first star that she brought, excuse me, the first star that she brought was in the southern hemisphere, so we wouldn't have been able to see it here in England. So she brought me another star, and it's named after me, and it's in the northern hemisphere, and it's in it's linked to the constellation that I actually studied, when I was doing, astronomy at GCSE, which is Cassiopeia. It's in that constellation. So I have two stars in both a star in each the hemispheres named after me.
Shout out Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia, man.
Um, is it like your full name or just your
It
first
is
name?
just my
Or
first name for both.
okay.
Yeah. Um. But
Um,
yeah.
See, I think I've heard of you being able to do that, but it's like never something I've really thought to do. Where is it?
What
I'm curious. Like, is it far away or
my
close or
star?
like?
It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
fairly far away. So quick science lesson. Stars are their brightness is measured in magnitude. Um, the lower the number, the brighter it is. Anything that's in the minuses is like incredibly bright. Um, in a city, we have a ton of light pollution, which means that we can't usually see on a crystal clear night. We can't see anything below a magnitude of 5. I'm pretty sure. If you go to a residential dark zone, so for England, for the UK, the Brecon Beacons, I'm pretty sure is our UK dark zone. We have a fair few dotted around England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, but Wales is the best for observing stars. I'm pretty sure, because it's so far away from so many cities and so much light pollution. You can see like twice, 3 times as many stars as you would see here in Birmingham or Wolverhampton. Mine is a magnitude 9, so mine is fairly far away because obviously the closer a star is, the brighter it is. So because it's a magnitude 9, it is fairly far away, but it's not incredibly far because like there's stars that are like magnitude 11. But yeah, so my boy's up there.
Oh, so yeah, that was my next question. Can you see or?
Um, if I went to a dark zone, or I went to a planetarium, I should be able to see it. If I use a telescope, I should be able to see it. Or if I used my camera on this thing called a bulb setting, which is where you have the shutter open for as long as you want, to let as much light in as possible. So that's how people do star photography and astronomy photography, which is something I do want to try. I should be able to see it, because you know on Earth you have latitude and longitude, which is how you have coordinates. In space you have this thing called right ascension and declination, which is the coordinates of the sky basically. So if I took a picture of the sky, making sure Cassiopeia was in shot, I should be able to measure the right ascension and declination from one of the stars in the Cassiopeia constellation to pinpoint my star. So yeah.
So yeah, that's real cool. I think the last thing you'd want is a star that you can't see.
Exactly.
Like it'd be cool to know it's out
Yeah.
there, but you want to be able to like visualize your gift. But I think the last thing that we'll talk about before we go on to our next thing is I also tried celebrating a birthday with just my partner.
Could I just butt in one thing?
Yeah, sure.
Sam, I have. I'm gonna tell a story about Sam quickly. He missed my 18th birthday party to do media coursework that wasn't actually due in or meant to be done. So you know, Sam hurt me on my 18th birthday, but Sam brought me a birthday gift this year, out of the blue, out of nowhere. Like,
I bought you a birthday gift on your birthday party on your birthday with a birthday gift.
exactly, and like Sam's happy birthday. Sam mentioned it a couple last podcast. I think we don't usually like address each other in the podcast without talking to the audience. But Sam, bro, I really appreciated that. It was really thoughtful and thank you. It meant a lot.
See, I'm not gonna lie. It's probably gonna sound like a lie. I didn't even get you that gift as like a birthday gift. I just felt nice, and then you were like, "Oh, birthday gift," and I was like, "Okay,
No,
cool."
It was very sweet, and he's even thinking about doing me a Moonpig card. So you know.
Oh yeah, because another thing that Charlie said, because he knows that I hate writing cards, because I'd rather just like tell you, like happy birthday and stuff, and I've done that for Charlie. But he said like because he knows I hate him, one thing that he really wants is for me to like, just do it and write him a card basically. So if I do that, that'll be another thing. But I'm just trying to like think of what I'll put in it right now.
I mean, it is my 21st. It's a big birthday.
Yeah. Now wait till your 22nd. But no, yeah,
go for it.
That'll be a thing.
Your story.
Yeah, that'll be a thing that I'll look into. But yeah, so Charlie spent this birthday with his partner because of the lockdown and everything. I'm sure if he could have, he would have seen more people. But I'm sure you've got no complaints. But yeah, so I tried it. I think with my 19th birthday. I was spending my birthday with my partner by choice. Big mistake. Well, this is an ex-partner, I should say. Thank God. So yeah, I thought let's spend my birthday with him because it'd be nice to just have a day with each other. And then it turned out that he invited a friend, and all they did really for that whole day was watch The Crown, which isn't even a series that I like. So yeah, I tried having a nice day with an ex-partner, and it just didn't go well. I genuinely think that if no one on that day had said to me happy birthday, I wouldn't have known that it was my birthday because of how normal and boring it was. So that has been a lesson to always try and do something for my birthday, because I've had way too many now where I've just not done anything and just stayed in my room or watched The Crown. So
it was kind of like that with my 20th birthday. My 20th birthday was pretty weird because it didn't feel like my birthday. I mean, I had an interview for a placement on my 20th birthday, Like legit, I was in a suit. I did come up with the best Snapchat, which was a video of me showing off my suit, and I was like, birthday suit, lol. But but yeah, like I mean, I went to my placement. I went out with for a couple drinks with my friend Chloe. I came home, I cut my cake, and I then went out with for a couple drinks with my friend Kaylee. But it just didn't really feel like a birthday. But
You know, bear in mind this is a time where we could leave the
exactly,
house, so that wasn't a huge
yeah.
deal back in the day.
I think it's like I'm gonna try and do something as well for my birthday each year, even if it's just because clubbing not really my thing, big parties not really my thing. Even if it's just going out for a meal or a couple drinks just with my mates, just like you know, because I'm planning to do something after this is all done for my 21st. Just
Mm.
like belated happy birthday. Let's go out and have a couple drinks at Spoons. But yeah,
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm down.
but now for the
Um,
big part of the podcast.
yeah, the huge news. So this is something that we were really trying to hold in last episode
Oh,
because we were like so excited.
Sam came off.
Um,
Sam came off the call and like he said he felt like he was about to scream. Like honestly,
I was gonna
Mm.
burst. So yeah, part of the reason we didn't want to talk about it is because like it hadn't happened
Mm.
yet. And another reason was like for suspense purposes. But we have our first ever guest in this episode of the podcast, and we'll see that interview in a minute.
Mhm.
But I feel like we should just kind of talk about like how we felt going into it and stuff, just give a bit more context,
Go
and
for it.
then like cut to the interview. But I was the one that initially like reached out to him because I'd seen him on BBC News, on BBC Breakfast a few days before, I think. So we were like looking for people that are like doing really good things at this Peroni flu time, I guess you'll call it, during lockdown and stuff. So I like looked him up on Twitter just to see if that he had like a contact email or anything. And it turns out that he did, and it was his daughter that was running his daughter was his team basically. So I thought I'd just shoot my shot, see if I could score an interview. So I pretty much just wrote like, we're an up and coming podcast, and we've seen what your dad's done, and we'd really love to talk to him and learn more about him. And yeah, we even said like, we understand that he's super busy, but like even if you can just give us a statement at the if you can give us a statement, it'll be appreciated. And it turns out that not only did she say yes, and they did agree to it, but she also said like, how much time do you need? Which is something that I don't know about you, Charlie, but I really didn't anticipate, because I was thinking more like, we're on their time, we'll get like 5-10 minutes maybe. So when she said like, how much time do you want? I had no idea how to respond because I didn't even think of that response as a possibility.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned it last episode because I think you said that last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from a media background where I have had to work with contributors, it's never been that case. It's never been how much time you need. It's, oh yeah, so and so has only got this much, make it work. Oh, you've only got this much time in this location, make it work. Like, hearing that was like, whoa.
So yeah, the big reason we needed to know how much time we had is so we knew like how many questions we'd have to ask, and we ended up having 10 questions plus like an extra couple just to like let them like plug stuff they're doing and like talk about like advice that they'd give or a message they want to send to whoever's listening. So I think without further ado we should finally reveal the identity of who it is that we got for the interview. So I don't know if you want to do that, Charlie, or me, or what.
I'll happily do it.
Sure.
So, for our interview, we had the pleasure of sitting down and speaking to Rajinder Singh, or as he's known worldwide now, the Skipping Sikh, and his daughter Min Kaur.
And yeah, like I said last episode, and I'll say it again now, no idea why they agreed to come on the interview with us, because at the time I think we had 20 subscribers. I think we have 21 now, so not even much of an
Jeez.
upgrade. But I know for you especially, Charlie, because of your like background and heritage and stuff, you have a lot of people. Sorry, that alcohol's coming back up. You have a lot of people on your end that are like going to be super excited and proud of you for speaking to the Skipping Sikh, because you know a lot of Sikhs and Indians and stuff.
It is crazy. It's like he's someone that's impacted not only the Sikh and Hindu community, but as Min mentioned, like he's impacted a community, and he's built together a community in this lockdown. As I said in the interview, without giving too much away, I've got family in Birmingham that know of him. I've got family in London that know of him. I've got family in Canada that know of him. It was crazy. I still can't get over it. Like, honestly, this happened on Monday. It's Friday. Like,
Yeah, see, we were talking about like maybe writing something down just in case we forgot like what actually happened. But I think, especially because it was our first ever interview, that we're not really gonna like forget how it went. Yeah, it was just an amazing interview, an amazing guy. His daughter Min, who you mentioned, a really amazing person too. So yeah, like I said, I saw him on BBC. He's also been on ITV talking to Captain Tom Moore, who's someone else who's done amazing things. He was on CNN, the Metro. You know, I can go on and on and on. So how we got him on the Storm and the Teacup podcast, like I said, no idea. But I feel like it's time to show you off what we've made. So please enjoy our interview with Rajinder Singh and Min Kaur, the Skipping Sikh, and his daughter.
okay, guys, so I'm here with the Skipping Sikh himself, Rajinder Singh, and his daughter Min Kaur. Thank you, guys, for agreeing to be our first guests on the podcast. It's a huge honour and a pleasure. Thank you. Sam, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, no, I was just going to reiterate, we're really happy to have you both on, and like I said before we started the call, I think it's going to be a really good interview. So.
Yeah, I can't wait. So we're going to kick it off with some questions. Sam, I'm pretty sure that you have the first question, don't you?
Oh, I do actually. Okay, so this is a question for both of you, because Min's the one that's posting the videos. So first question is, how does it feel becoming so well known in such a short amount of time?
Because I really not intended to, but as this problem is going around, if I can do someone to help, it was my daughter's idea, and I try to help olders and young if they can watch. And I'm not expert, but I try to show them the way I'm doing it, like 50 years, maybe more, because my father taught me. He was an ex-army soldier. And since then, I carry on doing, helping charities, working, and try my best to help others. So I get appreciation, which I wouldn't believe that. So many people, I'm grateful to them who are supporting us for everything. That's why.
That's amazing. And yeah, like I said, Min, I'll ask you the same thing, because you've been the one posting the videos of your dad. So what has it been like seeing him become so famous, I guess the word would be?
So if I go right back to how it all happened, it's just, I find it really shocking. Every day I'm waking up and thinking, oh, let me pinch myself. Is this real? So my dad's got an allotment, and he's retired, but he obviously does a lot of volunteering at the Osterley Park and really involved in lots of things, as in charitable work. So when we first found out about the virus being here and we knew that lockdown was coming, I was kind of worried about my parents, thinking, well, what will I do to keep them busy? So the day that I think we had been a week into lockdown, and I woke up that morning and I thought, well, my dad skips and nobody knows that he skips. So why don't we just get everyone involved in a skipping challenge? And so we went to the allotment and he just literally just started skipping. I filmed it, and that evening I tweeted it out, and I did not realise how much of like just the most watched video it was. Within, I think, a couple of hours, it had gone to thousands of views, and then by the next day, it had gone viral. So, and it still is. So I think it's a couple of weeks on now from then, and it's still being shared. He's been in many media outlets. He's gone international, and it's not just a Sikh community thing. It started off as a community that let's get our community to exercise, but I can't believe how much of a reach it's had, and it's inspired so many people worldwide. And for me, I feel like we're doing what we love. So my dad loves charity work. We love to serve others. As a Sikh, that is exactly what we're about. You know, our faith, serving others, and remembering God, and putting other people before you. And I feel like we're doing that in a time of lockdown. So I don't really feel we're in lockdown because we're exercising and we're praying and we're doing the things that we are because we want other people to join us so that they don't feel depressed and they don't feel sad and they have something to look at and join in because we want everyone to exercise together. We should stay healthy as well. So it's just it's amazing. We feel really blessed, and I just feel like we're doing something in a time where it's needed and something positive.
That's
Uh,
amazing. Yeah, it is.
yeah, in our research, we found stories from the BBC, the ITV, and CNN. So it's quite insane how widespread the story's gotten, really,
Yeah.
of such a normal thing for you.
No, I think, well, the funny thing is, I'm a journalist. I'm a freelance journalist, but quite new to the industry. So what's really funny is I've been knocking on doors for, the last couple of years and haven't managed to get a break because, they've always said, oh, you need to come with a story, you need to come with this. And this story ticks everything. It's a human story. It's diverse. You don't see people like my father in the media much. You should see them much more. You don't even see the Sikhs represented enough in a positive light. So I find it, and then I filmed most of that footage, all of that footage that went on the BBC piece. My colleague was the one who edited it all, but he advised me on how to film it. So I feel like this has ticked all the boxes, and a story has gone viral, but it hasn't just gone in the UK, it's gone international. If that isn't a human story that's diverse, that is positive and touches hearts, then I don't know what is. So I just think, it's made me think about how the media works and what stories they take on and don't take on, that you should always believe in yourself because this is exactly what's happened. This was not the fact that I've had somebody help me to do it. It literally was something that we did ourselves. And my colleague came forward and said, this is a story. And because of him, he helped to push and take it forward. And I'm forever grateful for that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Charlie, I think you've got another question to ask.
Yeah, I do. So you've kind of answered a fair bit of it already, but I just wanted to ask what the response has been like to the video from people reaching out to you and contacting you, because I've seen on your Twitter a load of retweets and a load of comments just on the initial video itself. So the response to the video, what's that been like?
Yeah, so initially it was very much like, wow, we can't believe the exercises that my dad does. So the skipping and the push up or the pull up bar. That was really like, wow, he's 73 years old. And, that went viral across all social media. And the response was, we want to get our skipping rope out. We want to order a skipping rope. We want to get involved. So everybody wanted to join in on the exercise. And it kind of brought back a sport, skipping, which is mostly what boxers do. But it's like a hidden thing that people don't really do. So I think people were really inspired and motivated, and the messages were just so overwhelming. They'd all said, thank you so much for sharing this. It's brought a smile upon our face. Great work, keep it up, keep your videos coming. And it's just been like, it is so overwhelming and so lovely and beautiful for all those people that are supporting and motivating us and my parents to keep going, because it just works both ways. I feel like we have a big family and that family is international. So it's just nice to see that something good is out there, and it's encouraging people to get off the sofa, because health is wealth and exercise is so important, and you only need to do half an hour a day, and you don't need to kill yourself to do it. You just need to move around and be active. So yeah, it's been really lovely to have the response that we have from people. I genuinely feel like we have a huge family, and we've got unity in the community, and that's exactly what we need.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's reached over here in Birmingham in the Midlands. So my family's Sikh, and it's hit the Sikh community here. So I've got some Sikh family in Canada, and even they've seen the video, and I've told them that I've had an interview. Well, I'm doing the interview with you too, and they've said like it's crazy, and they can't wait to see it. But I know that Sam has the next question.
I do. So Rajinder, you kind of went through this in the answer to the first question, but I'm curious to find out a little bit more about how long you've been keeping fit for and like how that all started.
Actually, it was long when I was very younger. My father always says, "Come on, let's run with me." Then he said, "Do skipping." He jumping, in Indian language, he said, "Come, upper, down." And then he said, "Do jump with the, rope sort of things." I said, "Dad, I don't have a rope or something." He get, farmers which use rope everywhere. He cut it one. He showed me how to do it. And then he said, "Follow it." It took me 2 days. The third day, he was so happy. He said, "Carry on. You don't need anything else. Eat good. Believe in God. Don't believe any like a white, black, whatever it is. Everyone belong to God. Respect everybody. Don't disrespect no one. And carry on. And you teach others, which I do always. Example, park run I go, there's hundreds, sometimes 1,000 people running, and they respect me so much, I want to believe it. And now they're waiting when I go back. They be everywhere around me because I never tell them what I do, but now they're surprised. So on this situation, I have to help other people's and start skipping. You can do inside and outside. There's no excuse. And I'm very grateful all people who are doing it. I bow my head in front of them, carry on. You will be very fit, and I'll be very happy.
He's like Mr. Motivator Singh now. He's basically a hidden gem that nobody knew about. I never shared a video about him. He never wanted to go into the media, but I pushed it because I think positivity is so much needed, and unsung heroes, unheard stories like this. I want to hear about them. I don't want to hear about the people that we know about, and I don't want to hear about celebrities. I want real people because I can relate to them. So he's that person, and I just think it's fantastic because if we could get more of those people out there exercising, more Mr. and Mrs. Motivators everywhere.
Yeah, and that's the entire reason, really, that we invited you to be on the podcast in the first place, because the way we see it is pretty much the exact same. We want people, really, that have, like, stories to tell and are doing great things for the community and stuff. So, yeah, I think it's amazing that you're doing such great things to motivate people. And I think Charlie's got the next question.
I do, yeah. So, obviously, skipping is one of the fundamentals of keeping fit that you do. Is there anything other than skipping that you do to keep fit?
I do, how can I say, I don't remember, but I do hundreds different kind of. You don't need even skipping rope. You can do exercise with your body, with your mind. Same time you can pray as well. Jesus, God, or whoever it is, you pray in your mind. While you're doing this, you can do exercise. And it is very helpful. Soon you start warm up. You like to do another. You don't realize how weak you are. The next day you feel it, you're done over. But then you said, why I tired? And you start again. Then you get habit. And this is in my life, Lord. I can't live without prayer and exercise and helping others. It is, I don't know, I can't.
But he also, talking about what sports he does, is he runs. So he's a park runner, regular park runner that he does every week. Can't do that now. He also helps as a volunteer at the park. So he's a buggy driver.
Charity run.
He does lots of like marathons as well. But even at the allotment, he's running with his wheelbarrow. So I've got videos of that I'm going to post up as well. So even gardening himself, that's exercise. And so yeah, he does, and he'll walk really fast. Like I've seen him walk really fast, and I've tried to keep up with him as well. He walks really, really fast. So yeah, Iron Man here.
then again, when I cut grass in allotment, I don't care is my grass or the other people's grass, and I cut all, try my best. This is not electric or diesel. You have to do with your hands, and I love to do that. To doing for others, I feel very, very happy inside. Rather doing myself.
And then he does lots of really quickly. He does lots of exercise at home. So he washes the clothes. He does lots of housework. He does all the DIY. He gets up and he gets up early hours of the morning, which he never tells anyone. And then he literally, like, he doesn't really have a nap. Very rare he'll have a nap. And he's going like he's honestly like a Duracell battery that just doesn't need to be recharged. And people don't know that he's inside the house, outside the house. he does lots of stuff which not many people in the Asian community, especially men, will do, to be fair. And my mum doesn't have to do much at all because of the way that my dad is. And that's why I think, it's just such a brilliant story, because he's so real and he's not pretending to be somebody that he's not.
I think that's amazing. I think it's people forget how little things can be classed as exercise, like gardening, like just walking around doing some gardening for half an hour. Like, it keeps you so fit than just sitting there just watching TV on the sofa. But Sam, I know that you've got the next question as well.
Yeah, and this is something that I have some personal experience with. You've spoken about how you started exercising and keeping that routine. But I'm curious if you have any advice for people who want to start keeping fit but don't really know like how to.
You just start to warm up like step by step. Take your feet one up, one down. Same with the hands, same with the neck. Same breathing is very important. But try not to do over. If they follow others, you can have injuries. And I always advise, please look around you, anything lying around you, in case you hit and you will fall or something. You must be careful, nothing around you before you start exercise. But exercise, don't do after soon you eating it. You must give at least half an hour to do exercise, or before eating, have it, some sip of drink water, have a water near you, and then you start, warm up, and then you do regular exercise, whichever you feel is best for you. But try the other one, awkward one as well. One day you will do more than awkward one than the normal ones. But when your stamina built up, don't do over. That's I beg to everybody. Just give every 2-3 minutes, give half a minute a rest, like a breathe properly. And breathing is very important. And how can I say, drinking and things around you. This is very important. And try your best and teach others as well. I request to everybody.
I think so. My dad did like some simple exercises of walking on the spot, and if you can't jog on the spot, so you can walk, trying to stretch, that kind of stuff. So moving your arms and your legs, but gently on the spot, or even walking up and down in the living room, which he does. That's quite, if you can do that. If they can do the stairs, walking up and down the stairs, but obviously holding on to the side. But I think the main thing is like trying to walk and stay active on the spot and moving your arms and doing some lunges if you can. So really gentle exercises. But something that's really good that my mum not invented, but she kind of thought of this was, so we've all got tins of beans or tins of tomatoes, even holding them and moving your arms, up and down. Basmati rice, so Tilda rice, for example, the little bags of them, you can use them. Milk bottles, don't fill it up with too much water. So simple things at home that you can use as weights. But again, just walking and lifting them is quite good, I think, for the elderly, because you're not overdoing it.
And is one thing I request, when you're bending down, in case you drop something, picking up, bend your knees, very careful, take everything very cautioned. Just don't do anything without realizing, yes, if you do this, you will have injuries. Careful with when you're doing exercise. Bending, standing, going around, walking, you must be very cautioned.
You spoke about not over exercising, and that's something I've got experience with, and I'm sure Charlie does as well. But when I did it, I couldn't walk for a week, and I had a job interview as well during that week, so that was fun. But yeah, I think Charlie's got the next question.
I do, yeah. So as I mentioned before, my mom's side of the family is Sikh, they're Indian, and my nan, whenever I go over, I think it's just a grandmother thing. She just cooks and cooks and cooks and cooks and makes sure that everyone's fed. Now, I love my nan's cooking, and I love going over and having as much as I can. But what's your diet like? What sort of things do you eat? Because obviously exercising is only half of the battle with staying healthy. What sort of stuff do you eat?
Actually, I want to make this after I said mention my daughter. The diet I eat, I think a majority of sports people will say, where you getting energy from? Like my main is bread, margarine, garlic, and they call haldi, turmeric,
Turmeric, yeah.
turmeric, and they call.
Oh, is it Joanne, which is those seeds? I don't know what they're called, but they're Indian spices. I don't know how to. I don't know what, but basically that little brown seeds. So some of the Indian spices,
Yeah.
basically.
They call Joanne, and I don't take salt. Try my best, unless I sweat. When I go park run, then I know how much my salt is come out, how much I need, and I try not to take over salt. Same with sugars. Maybe if I take sugar, one packet, you can say 1 kilogram sugar in a year. If I first thing I don't take sugar, I take brown sugar, but maybe just one pack of kilogram, it lasts me 1 year. And I love honey, not all the time, because every food got honey in there. And I love rice, brown rice. I love cereals, shredded wheat, and so any cereal, I love it. Only I don't like almond because my tooth is not 100% to eat like almonds or nuts. And I love it if I crush them, then I eat it. And if I don't, then I can boil, they can get soft. And the other thing,
Brown
I,
rice as well you have, and
I
dark
like
chocolate.
I like full fat milk because I'm 100% vegetarian because I have to get fat somewhere else. But mostly people said no, full fat is not good. But as I've seen so many years since in this country, 72, 71, I love fat milk as long as you can burn it. And I don't like much ice cream. Plus, my habit is when I eat hot meal, I don't eat anything cold. I eat cold, give a time, at least half an hour or 1 hour, and then I eat a hot meal. But after hot meal, anything hot drink, I don't drink cold thing, anything. Like when do 5K run in a park, I don't drink after or between. I try my best in exercise not to drink and try to cope with it. Even I done half marathons, I never drink. I start first, then I carry on until I finish it. I know water is very important. It depends on you how much exercise, how long you can last yourself. And only I advise, please don't eat too many spicy things. Like a onion, my favorite, but don't fry too much. Just put in a microwave, put with the cheese, cover with the bread, and cover with something. Just not overcook it. Half cook, then I eat it. And I love coffee, maybe 2 spoonful in 24 hours. And otherwise, I don't eat anything. Like a sweet, I don't like. I like black chocolate, 90%, 99% chocolate, no sugar at it. And people don't like it. This kind of things I eat it.
And brown rice. He likes brown rice
Yeah,
as well.
I didn't mention.
Yeah.
That's some really useful information actually, because I know that a lot of people do struggle with the diet side of staying healthy. Sam, I know that you've got the next question as well.
Yeah, I'm just going to add to that that was a question we really wanted to ask, because you can exercise and exercise and exercise, but if your diet's not there, then you're not like truly healthy. But my next question is, I'm just curious about like your usual daily routine when it comes to keeping fit, really. So from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, like how many times you exercise for how long and stuff like that.
I wake up, you can say, after 3 o'clock, and then I do little warm up. Soon I go in the bathroom. I'm still doing something with my hands. My mentally, I want to move myself. So when I'm in bath, I'll be very cautious getting into bath. Some people they get injury early in the morning. But I try my best to wake up before 4 o'clock, have a bath. Then as I'm coming downstairs, still in my mind, before I do my proper prayers, I lay down on the floor, do exercise. So I got a couple of clicking all muscles a little bit here and there. Then I try my prayers, and that's what I do.
And then during the day, what will you do for
Yeah,
exercise? Or something?
during the day, I do, like I just said, household work if I need it. Then I got garden at home, feed the birds, and then I do something in the watering and cutting small piece of garden. I cut grass, looking at plant.
And the cars.
Then as soon as go out, I have to clean a car. Even I cleaned yesterday. I always clean cars, and it is another exercise. It's not just you can do with how can I say expensive things. You can do like a cleaning car, washing cars. You need at least good half an hour if you quick. For half an hour you're doing around a car, you can have a very very good exercise. Compare with you run 2 miles and cleaning a car. I can compare with it. This kind of things I do every day, and every hour I do breathe properly and always mentally doing something. And when I want to sleep, still I try to remember. Oh, you missed this. Soon I remember this. I wake up, forget about my sleep. I start doing finishing that thing first. And what more I can say? I don't sit around. Exercise is very very important for me.
And then when he does his prayers as well, he doesn't always, I mean, he sits down for early hours in the morning, but if he's doing the longer prayer called the Sukhmani Sahib, sometimes he'll walk and, so again, he's getting his exercise in. But that's the one thing that is key for him. He won't miss his prayers and he won't miss his exercise. And he's got the allotment as well. So gardening is another big thing. I've got some pictures from when he first had his allotment. You know what? Honestly, if you saw these pictures and how much of a mess it was to what it then turned out to be, you would never think somebody of his age turned it from this complete mess into what he has to where it is now. Like it's amazing to see. So that's exercise as well for him.
And they just a second or 2 seconds or 3 seconds. I believe all Jesus, Allah's Sikhs, they're given a different names, but God is only one. I always respect God. Wherever Jesus is gone, wherever Muslim Guru is gone, wherever Guru is gone, they walk. They show us. While you're walking, you still can pray, you still can do exercise. Now people forget, is up to them. That's principle always in here, hammering in my head. Sometimes I think I go on a car, I rather walk, rather skipping, how can I say, not taking bus, as I got free pass. So many drivers I know, and I still, say thank you. Now I'm just walking. This kind of things, like my allotment is 4 miles away, over 4 miles. I love to run, and I love to walk as well, as much as this. Sometimes do 5 miles a day, sometimes 4, sometimes 3. But I have to walk in the house. Maybe I can do 1 mile. I always counting how many steps you done, and everything built up into me like a computer, and I love it.
And there's something I need to add to that. A really funny story. When I was younger, my dad used to work at the airport, and he used to cycle a lot. So he's not added that in, but he used to really love cycling. And his bike got stolen, basically, so he hasn't gone and bought another bike. But when he was cycling, he actually got stopped by the police to say that, do you know what speed that you were going at? That's how fast he was cycling. And this was obviously back in the day, like, probably in the 1980s or something. But yeah, they stopped him. And when they told me the story, I couldn't believe it, because I thought, how fast could he have been going to have been stopped? So yeah, you've got Speedy Singh here.
I'm not sure I've ever heard of anyone speeding on a pedal bike before. That's quite...
No, this officer, he said to me, you can't brake. It was 41 or 42 miles because wind was blowing, and they coming behind me. And when they stopped me, in my mind I said, I've done nothing. And he stopped me, I stopped. And he said, you can't stop within a limit. I said, if I can't stop, I will jump one side, so I will go on the side. And then he said, what about other road users? They can, hurt. I said, I'm sorry. But that's what.
And I remember when he used to drop us. So obviously, when back in the 1980s when I was born, he used to drop me off to where I think the coach would take us to school or something. I can't remember. It was just not far from my house, and we'd have to get on the bike. And he'd drop me off, and it was only like a 2 minute. But I used to hate it because he was so fast. I was telling my mum this. She goes, "Do you remember?" I said, "I used to hate it getting on the bike because I remember that 2 minute journey." It was just, you're sitting on the end of the bike and you think, I'm going to fall off any minute. Can you imagine? For me to feel that then and still remember it now, he was really fast.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Charlie, do you want to ask your next question?
Yeah, just before I do that, I'm just going to restart my camera because I think it's going to the limit of recording. So.
Oh yeah, this happens all the time. When he's been recording for half an hour, he needs to like reset.
There we go, back. So my next question is, because you mentioned about when you first came to England. I want to know when you came to England and why you came to England.
Because how can I say? I'm not saying I'm brave. I was very brave. I study in a college. I study in schools everywhere. Everywhere I take sports first. But if anyone hurt, abuse or someone, I always involve there. Why you did this? In a word, you can say very brave. Especially if someone touch someone's daughter or wife, anything, I don't hesitate to involve in it. And you imagine if someone hurt my family members, I would not care. I sacrifice myself. My father always worried about me. You will do something. If anyone you do something, you will kill something. I don't want to see you hanging. That's always. I said, Dad, I'm not crazy. He said, no. He said, no, your uncle wants you to go Canada or England. I said, I don't want to help because I got so many friends in a college, Khalsa College, and they love him very much. And they said, oh, don't go, don't go. And when I left, I really cried. But my father, when he wrote me back, he said, I was crying 3 days now, and I did a mistake. Then my uncle wouldn't let me go back. I think twice or three times I went to police station, and they said, you done nothing wrong. How can we send you back?
So when did
Yeah.
you come to England?
72.
And why did you come? What was your reason for coming?
Because it's my father's choice. I was studying at that time. But in here, I never stop. I start studying straight away. And little work here and there, helping my uncle and doing job wherever it is. And the first thing I said to my uncle, I don't want to depend free. He said, you can, sick or something. I said, no, I don't depend on social security. Maybe all those years, or maybe have a few days of sick, unless very serious. Otherwise, I don't have a sick. Even I'm sick, I always go on a duty. And this is my principle.
I think it's really inspiring that you've come here and you've made such a good life for yourself and your kids here. I really do. Sam, I know that it's your question next, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've not spoken yet about the fundraiser, but for anyone that doesn't know, the Skipping Sikh is raising money for the NHS. And I'm just curious, really, about why the NHS is the cause that you chose to raise money for.
Because NHS saving lives, they always there 24 hours, 365 years. Anytime, yeah, anytime, any minute you call them, you can go in hospital. That's the frontline people, they can save your lives. And that's why I choose, we must help them as other people doing it as well. Why can't we put share? Even we can raise 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever it is. It is just help. Maybe I can't do million. It is depend on the public. But it's all penny goes to NHS, and I respect them so much because they get. I seen a example in a hospital. Why was a hospital? Person come well drunk, injured, nurse cleaning him. He starts spitting on her, and I involved. I catch him and stop him. And this kind of thing they're doing NHS. Why not we help them when they need it? And that's why I choose it.
And they're amazing anyway. They're at the front line, day in, day out. They're the people that are saying, actually, this is our job. We're here to help save lives. They're not the ones that are walking away and saying, I'm really sorry, I'm not going to come into work, which they could do if they wanted to, right? Because they could be worried about themselves, but they're not. So they are soldiers. And I don't feel that they've ever had that much respect in the past as what they should have. They should definitely have the funding. They should be able to do their job without worrying about they're not getting paid the right amount of money or they haven't got the funds to look after people. It's just amazing to see how much respect they are now getting, and they should always get. And what I would really love to see off the back of this is, when they have the awards evenings and it's always celebrities, I think personally these frontline key workers should be the awards that we should be holding is for them, because they deserve it. They definitely do. And you know what? They have worked so hard day and night. So we want to do our bit to give back. And as a Sikh, Seva is a key principle of us, which means giving back. I couldn't think of a better cause to give it to. The NHS is someone that I'd always in the future as well donate to, because they are showing the work that they do, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, just to respond to that, thanking the NHS and any other essential workers is something that Charlie and I have really tried to do on the past episodes of the show. And even last episode, I was saying to him, like, the world can be quite political, but I feel like the NHS is such a great cause, because I don't think wherever you align politically, no one's going to say the healthcare system's making too much money, especially at a time like now. So
exactly, it's true.
Thank you.
Just adding on to what Sam said, so like my partner works in the healthcare sector, my older brother and his fiance work for the NHS, my mossy works for the NHS. It's hard seeing my family go into work and knowing how hard it must be for them and how scary it must be for them, and seeing all the support that the healthcare sector and the NHS in particular been getting. It's really heartwarming, honestly.
Yeah.
It is hard as well, plus it's dangerous as well. They easily catch, how can I say, other people's disease. As nowadays, they are not well protected either. And I feel sorry for them. I wish I can do more for them.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, Charlie, sorry. That's also something that we've been trying to make sure, just like, if no one's got the message by now, to stay at home and be responsible, not just for themselves, but the people that they could spread the virus to. Like I said, we're really just trying to urge anyone that isn't staying at home to stay at home and keep them and everyone else safe, really.
Yeah,
because I think at the end of the day, the way I look at it, so I was kind of in the zone of lockdown back in February, because being a journalist, I saw when it came to China and then in Italy, and I'd said to my parents, actually, let's just try not to go out that much unless we really need to, because I think it's about being sensible, and it's the short term for a long term gain or benefit. I don't think it's a big deal if you need to sacrifice staying at home to save lives. And for those people that are moaning about it and the sun's out and they want to go out and enjoy themselves, appreciate when you did go out and enjoy yourselves, and just get over it. Like, stop moaning, stop spreading false messages as well, and choose, like, this time that you've got, instead of being busy all the time, because we're not busy, do something to give back. I don't feel like we're in lockdown, and I feel like, oh my God, when it does end, I'm going to be so busy doing what we're doing, and I'm happy doing this, because actually in our life, all we ever do is put things aside and say, oh, I'll do that later. We'll do it now. You don't need to moan about it. Get on with it and help to save lives and be considerate of other people's and be selfless. Think of others before yourself. It's not a big deal. Lockdown is not a big deal by staying at home and staying safe to help save lives. I think we should all do it together, because in the long term, it's better for us all.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I've said to Sam previously on the podcast years and years ago, when the war was happening, people were getting shipped off to war. Now this is happening, we're getting told to stay at home and just watch TV. It's not a hard thing to do, and I do think this could be a very productive time for people. Like me and Sam have started our podcast. This is something we wanted to do for a while, and now we've got the chance to do it. Like you said, people can be doing stuff to keep themselves busy.
Exactly. This is it. It's just using that time effectively rather than regretting it and coming out of it thinking, oh, I should have done this. Well, do it now. Or take a hobby. Just do something. There's so much you can do.
Yeah, exactly. My final question, and it's been brought up a lot during these sets of questions, is I know that religion's a very big thing for Sikhs in general, but for both of you, I just want to know how religion is helping you through these difficult times, and any advice you'd give to anyone that might be losing faith because of these times that we're in.
I mean, for me, basically, my faith has proved to me in this time that how much, like, I'd say my guru is there with their hand on my head, because if I just talk about my personal story of how much I've had to go through with trying to get a break in the media, in my whole life, I've forever always thought about other people and getting them on like when I was presenting on Sikh Channel TV, I used to always think about other people and getting unheard stories heard. But in my life, I've never really had that support, from people in the community. Not everyone, but there's lots of people who won't really support you. And I've always thought, well, that's like, it's great that they didn't, because it made me stronger. It turned me towards my faith. And, I went through a divorce. I've been through quite a difficult time in my life, and it's always been my faith that has helped me through it. And in this time of lockdown, how it's helped me is that I can't believe, like, this seva that my dad's doing, which is, the exercise, is helping the world. And if that isn't faith and that spiritual being there that is doing that, then I'm sorry, I don't know what it is, because it's not a human being that did it. So for me, my faith is everything. Like, I could not live without my faith. And I feel that, this time has brought me closer to my faith. It's helped me to stay positive. It's helped me to stay strong. It's completely cleared my mind of anxiety and worry. I'm not worried. At the end of the day, a virus is there. But to be fair, if you pray and you're sensible and you listen to the government, you can get through it. You can get through anything with your faith. So my faith is everything for me. It doesn't affect me that the Gurdwara, I can't go to the Gurdwara, because, to be honest, it's within you. You can pray at home. You can do everything at home. So I just feel like God is inside all of us. And the one thing that I love, which my faith has made me realize, and this is Guru Nanak Dev Ji's message, is that this story of my dad has united everyone, not just the Sikh community. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji went everywhere. My dad's story's gone everywhere, and he loved everyone as one. So I'm so grateful that I am where I am, and I bow down to my Guru with my, like, my head in my Guru's feet, to say, keep your hand on my head, and basically help me to lend my hand down to other people, because faith is everything for me. And it's the only reason I am where I am, is because of my faith, and then my parents, to be honest, because if it wasn't for them teaching us about, the Sikh faith and prayers, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm really grateful, really, really grateful, and I couldn't be without it.
Like myself, I depend on honesty. I know I'm very bad. I always think I'm bad person on this planet. Everybody is better than me. That's my principle. That's what my Guru teach me. That's what Jesus, all religions, every time I pass by, I bow my head to Jesus church, to Muslims prayer room, wherever it is I go, I always say like this, because I have no difference. Like when I go to sports, everybody is my family. I call my family. Regardless, even someone swear at me, I will say thank you very much. This is my principle. Religion, yes. You adopt religion, you respect it, then you call you a religious person. When you don't, you just use it like money. Now God is not there. God always says, always prepare to help others. Don't be selfish. Anything you eat, you share with others. And I try my best. I just need to help people more and more until my last breath. And when country need us, we must try our best to help them. Law and order, NHS, you name it, anything.
And I just want to add to that my advice to anyone who's going for a difficult time now, and is feeling a bit down, or has anxiety or worry, that even if you're not religious, try and get up in the early hours of the morning and meditate, because there's something really special about that. I mean, I don't get a chance to do it now, but when the Gurdwara were open, my mum and I used to get up in the early hours, and we'd go to do Simran with the congregations of the community. And I just used to feel like when I did that, I didn't have to worry about what I needed to do in the day. It would come to me. And this is like me actually saying it's happened, where there was something with those early hours in the morning. So if you're not religious, just you try and get up, do meditation, exercise. Don't worry. Yeah, be positive. Put the positive vibes out there, because things will come to you, because there is nothing stronger than your faith. If you believe that, or positive vibes, it will come to you. Just work hard. Be true to yourself, and you don't need to put your hopes in other people, because I've seen that myself. There are some beautiful people out there probably who are not in my community that have supported me much more. Just put your hopes and desires in yourself that you can do it. Be positive, and things will happen, and stay strong, because we will get through this definitely, and we'll get together as a whole community.
I mean, I think I speak for everyone listening, and myself and Sam. Like, thank you for the advice. I know it comes from such a heartwarming place, because similar to you, like I'm studying media. I'm in my final year of studying media at university. I know just how hard it is trying to break into the industry, and I think as much as I do rely on how hard I'm working, there is still part of me that's just there thinking about my faith and thinking about just knowing that everything happens for a reason. They all come in due time.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I think the advice that you both have given and the story you've given about your faith is really heartwarming and will touch a lot of people listening. But Sam, I'm just gonna throw this over to you now because I think you've got the final statement.
Yeah, as Charlie said, you've given some amazing advice, but we just want to use this time now really to give you a chance to give any more advice or just to say anything to like anyone who's listening in general, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to say to everyone, please, listen to the government, stay home, stay safe, but obviously stay healthy and use this time. If you're with your family, then spend more time with your family. If there's a hobby that you can do, do it. If you're not with your family, then don't worry, call them because you can still stay in touch with them. And just remember, one thing my mum always said to me, when I used to get upset, is that, the good and bad days, they don't, so the good days don't stay for long, the bad days don't stay for long. The weather changes, so does life. So, we will get through it. So just be positive and just think to yourself when you come out of this, what are you going to do? What are you going to offer other people? What are you going to do to give back? Because if there's one thing that we can do and is in our control, is to help others because it costs nothing to help someone. So if you're in a role which is quite authoritative and you're in a leading role and you've worked really hard to get there, then lend your hand down to help others. Like, don't just think about yourself, don't compete, help people so that we can grow together and lift people up because it's the best thing that we can ever do. And just to really be positive and smile because a smile doesn't cost anything. And as my dad says, health is wealth. And thank you to both of you for speaking to us because we don't really feel that we're anything, and that you reached out to us to have us on your podcast as a first interview. I'd love to be able to help you guys to get the message, your podcast out there to other people so we can get some great voices heard because that's what we need is unsung heroes heard.
Last word, I respect everybody, but when they ask me my name in a park around hundreds, sometimes 500 people, they ask me, what's your name? I said, you call me madman. They said, don't be like this. You're a decent person. I said, no, it's easy to call madman. I said, I don't know when I do mistakes. Sometimes I remember. So that's why I give my nickname. I call myself a madman. And that's why I appreciate there are people like you listening us. But I wish all of you good luck and God bless you. And we will come out of these things and we will recover quickly and bless everybody else on this planet and try to teach me something better. I'll be much obliged. Thank you. God bless you.
In 365 years, don't forget. And he's got a YouTube channel, by the way. He calls it YouTube channel called Raj Skipping Sikh. Or Raj Skipping Singh. Or Raj Skipping Sikh. I'll send you the link. But he's got a YouTube channel with exercise videos on there. And please support the fundraising campaign as well. So let's get the funds in for the NHS.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, before we say our goodbyes and our thank yous for having you on the podcast, is there anything you'd like to promote? Where can we find you on social media? Where can we find the fundraiser?
Yeah, so the fundraiser is under Raj Skipping Sikh on Just Giving, but also he's got a YouTube page which is Raj Skipping Sikh as well, and social media Skipping Sikh on Twitter, Sikh Skipping on Twitter, and Skipping Sikh on Instagram and Skipping Sikh on Facebook, but also Min Kaur. So if you put Min Kaur 5 into Twitter, or if anybody wants to contact, I can then send the pages for him because I'm Min Kaur across everything, LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram, and easier to find. So I've got the link to the pages. So Min Kaur 5 and then Skipping Sikh, Raj Skipping Sikh should find him as well. And the fundraiser is on Just Giving. So please, do support that if you can and spread the word.
That's perfect. I know me and Sam will make sure to link everything down in the description. But from me, I just want to say a huge thank you for being our first guest on the podcast and sharing such inspirational and heartwarming stories and advice with us. I can't thank you enough, and I think I'll speak for everyone where we say it's been a pleasure to listen to everything you've had to say.
Well, thank you to you both as well, and I wish you the best of luck in your career as well. Keep going, yeah, is the advice that I got. Honestly, keep going. Even when you don't feel like going, keep going, because you will get there. Believe me, that perseverance and that enthusiasm will pay off. Because this is an example of it. Honestly, this is an example of where the story was there, and we didn't know it was a story, and look where it's reached worldwide, and it's put a smile on people's faces. So keep going.
Thank you. Sam, do you want to say yours as well?
Will be some, you both will be something on top. Don't forget this old man speaking.
Thank you.
So I was just going to say that giving you some time to like plug everything, is like the least we can do really, because you've given us like your time, somehow. I don't know how we deserve that, but
deserve it, because this is the whole thing of what I want to do. I want people who are starting podcasts and are new to be able to reach out and say, let's do an interview with you, because that's the only way. Is if you help people, you need to help people in this world. You really do.
That's really true, and thank you again really for coming on. We really appreciate it, and it's been like a huge honour to talk to you both and have you as the first guests on the show.
Thank you so much, and we wish you the very best.
Wish you good health, good future.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. And we just want to say thanks again to them for giving us the pleasure and the honour of interviewing them. I know that I know you feel the same, surely, Charlie, that we learned so much from him, so much more than we anticipated. And something that I really take pride in about that interview is the fact that we asked questions that they'll have heard for the very first time and potentially the last time. So, the really deep questions, the ones that are more about skipping, like asking about his heritage and his faith and stuff. Because I feel like a lot of the focus is on like his age and his skipping, and while that's like amazing, and obviously the money is raised too, but we know that there's he's more than what we're seeing, and we just really wanted to like get down and see what he was all about, basically.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with Sam more. Something that I really took away from this is just how proud he's made his family, and how proud in particular his daughter is of him, and how he's getting everyone involved. Obviously his daughter mentioned about him doing it, about her doing it, their mom doing it. Like, it's incredible. And I know that he only started his Twitter like not too long before we interviewed him, but I know that you said it to me. It's just insane that he hasn't got more of a following, but to be fair, while we're recording this, it might have just completely blown up, but it's crazy.
Like Charlie was saying, I didn't know how he did have more followers, and it was to the extent where like I was wondering, is this account even real? Because I'd think that someone doing such amazing work for the country, and like inspiring people all around the world, would have more of a following. And I don't want to toot our own horns or anything, but if we've exposed him to more people, then that's something that I'm incredibly proud of us for doing. Because I know that I was talking to some of my friends about having him on the show, and when I asked him if they knew who he was, they said no. So just the fact that we get to expose him to not even so many more people, but just like even one or two, he's just a person that people really should know about. And he's doing amazing things.
Like Sam said, I couldn't agree more. I learned so much just from that interview, and the fact that we had such an extended amount of time with him was crazy. I'm speechless. I genuinely am. I just
see you are, sorry for cutting you off. You are how I was at the end of the last episode, because I was just so in shock that we'd gotten him, and now like it's actually happened.
I think
being speechless is totally understandable.
I think what his daughter said really like touched me when she said that this is what they want to do. Obviously Sam's mentioned that we don't know, we can't comprehend the fact that he came onto our podcast, such a small podcast, and as Min said, they're doing it. They're trying to get the small independent podcast journalists out there with this story, and I just think it's incredible. I think something that really hit home was the fact that me and Sam did this by ourselves. You know, we don't have like a team of PR experts, or we don't have a press team doing all this for us, contacting people. Sam said we should email these people. Sam wrote the email. We fixed up the email a little bit, just making sure that everything was like nice and concise for them, and we planned it together, and we did this just me and Sam, and we got an interview with someone that has made a global impact, and it's crazy being a media student.
So yeah, I think something that's flabbergasted me ever since she said it was when she like gave us like credit and a bit of a shout out when she said like, you know, we're doing amazing work, because it really doesn't like feel like we're doing something special. We're just doing like, you know, what we've been raised to do, and just we're doing something that we enjoy, and if we can help people and get people out there and, you know, spread positive vibes and stuff, then that's something that I really take pride in. And yeah, like I said, I'm just super honoured that we got him on the podcast in the first place.
I genuinely think this is just showing how much this podcast means to me and Sam. Yeah, we do this for fun and we do this because we want to, but we're doing it to show people stories. Like Sam said, Sam and I both want people to come on this podcast to tell stories, to tell something that our audience might learn from, might relate to, might have a different opinion on. Anything we don't want this podcast to just be just stick on in the background and just leave it. We want people to we want our audience to listen and learn and to be engaged. And I truly think that interview is something that, I mean, if another podcast put that out there and I saw it, I know that I'd sit down and listen.
So yeah, I don't know if we're like overly humble as well, but I think that the work that they've both done is like leaps and bounds past anything that we've done.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm just really appreciative.
Leaps and bounds, skipping.
Oh, because he's jumping. Yeah, wow, very funny. I'm just really, I really appreciate, and I'm honoured to be able to like spread his message and who he is as a person to people that don't know about him. So like I was talking to one of my younger sisters the other day, saying like, do you know who I spoke to the other day? She said no. And I was like, I was talking to a 73-year-old man that's skipping for the NHS, and she just had a confused look on her face, because I guess it's not really things that you hear people doing, like older people being fit, getting out there, and that's something that he's really trying to push. The fact that like that you shouldn't really have any excuses. You know, if you can do it, then do it, basically. And I know that he's inspired me to start getting fit again, and that's something that I've been doing, working with my kettlebells. I'll pick it up and show the camera. This is the 6 kilogram. So, you know,
I mean,
bodybuilder basically.
It's something that I enjoy doing. I skip, and now my knees are all healed up, I can start skipping again. It's something I've done for years. It's something that I've done to keep fit. So like, watching his videos, listening to him speak about how he started skipping, it's incredible. And although I couldn't go out properly on my birthday, I still went over to my mum's, because she has a porch door. She has a glass porch door, and I was speaking to her through the door. And as sad as that sounds, it's the only way I can spend my birthday with my mum. But like, you know, I told her about the interview. Like, we were speaking through the door, and I said, like, you know, I interviewed the skipping Sikh, and she was like, that's incredible. She was like, your nan's gonna want to watch that podcast. And I was like, yeah, don't worry, the link will be up on Facebook, because it's incredible.
So yeah, like you were saying, the link's going to be on Facebook, and as I said earlier, you've got like a lot of Sikhs and Indians in your family, but it's also something that I'm going to share, just because if there's anything on this podcast that I've done that I'm proud of, it's that, because of all the reasons that I said, because we're getting him out there and stuff. And this is something that they are completely unaware of. Like, they thought that us giving the fundraiser a shout out was enough, and giving their social medias and stuff a shout out was enough. But we aren't really convinced that it is, because we had 45 minutes of their time in exchange for just saying follow them on Twitter. So what Charlie and I want to do is actually donate to the fundraiser, just to help support him even more. And like I said, that they're completely unaware of this. They didn't ask us to do this. That we didn't tell them we were going to do this. But we're going to make a £60 donation on behalf of the podcast. And yeah, we just really hope that we can help him and his cause. And the NHS, I know I said it in the interview as well, is such a great charity to raise money for, because it's saving lives and it's not dividing people politically, because everyone wants to stay alive for as long as they can. So yeah, we really appreciate him coming on and appreciate everything that they're doing for the country and for the world, basically.
As Sam said, and I can't reiterate it enough, like, it was such a pleasure and an honour to be able to interview them, and gain so much knowledge and advice from both of them, really. Just shouting out their Twitter and their donation, just it doesn't feel enough. So we're obviously donating that amount of money, but every little helps. Every little, a pound, a penny, 10 pence, 50 pence, it's all going to a good cause at the end of the day. So everyone's staying in, so people aren't spending money. So if you've got a bit of spare change and you want to donate to a good cause, down in the description below will be all of the links that you need, and we'll make sure to put them as the top links in the description.
I know it was a bit of a throwaway thing in the last episode, but if there's a person of the week, then
it should be me, because I'm 21.
Yeah, totally. No, it should be them too, for like we said, coming on the podcast and just doing amazing things in general. Really,
I totally agree.
So the Skipping Sikh and his daughter Min, people of the week, because we can't just give one credit, because they're both a tight knit unit.
You know what?
And I feel like it's worth saying now, Charlie, that we are looking for more people to interview, and preferably people that are doing great things right now, like the Skipping Sikh. So we are going to be looking around, just seeing if we can find anyone that's willing to come on the podcast or give a statement or answer some questions. So yeah, this is by no means our last interview, and we want to keep spreading that positivity and stuff.
Definitely. I was just going to say, it came to me after you mentioned Person of the Week. I'm pretty sure in my primary school we had Pupil of the Week, and all I can think about is sending in the post just a laminated piece of paper, just Person of the Week, to all the people that are People of the Week, because I remember that's what we got in primary school.
Wow.
But yeah, I just want to quickly say to anyone that's still watching, because this has been this is probably our longest episode yet.
Definitely.
If you are still here, thank you so much for tuning in. It means the world to me and Sam. Especially this episode, just because we are putting out this message, we are giving this interview out. If you've sat there and listened to the interview and gained something from it, we can't thank not only you enough for listening and watching the video and taking in what the Skipping Seekers had to say, but again, thank you to the Skipping Seek and Min for just giving up their time on an early Monday morning to gift our audience and me and Sam with the knowledge and advice they did.
And for the avoidance of all doubt, because I don't think we explicitly said it, but they were so nice that they didn't even ask for payment for the interview. They literally just said, we want to get this message out there, so we're more than happy to come on the podcast. So yeah, like I said, that donation completely unasked for by them. It's something we're doing out of the kindness of our hearts, and just to show our appreciation for them coming on. And like Charlie said, if you've got some money just sitting around not really doing anything, then we would really, really appreciate it if you could donate too. But don't feel any pressure, because I'm sure they don't want you to feel pressured either. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'm not sure. Oh, that was it. Weekly follow us on everything segment. So like Charlie said, this is a super long episode. I think it's nearing 2 hours now, which is just insane. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Don't know how we've kept you. I'm sure that's all the skipping Sikhs doing. But if you enjoyed this episode or any other episode, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribed, if you followed the podcast on Instagram or Twitter. On Instagram it's Storm in a Teacup Podcast. On Twitter it's SIAT Pod. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram is Sam Trahan Official. Twitter is at symbol, then AT. So it's at because I'm a smart ass. At Sam Trahan, SAMTREHARNE. So ATSAMTREHARNE, just for avoidance of any doubt. And I think that's all of my stuff. So it's your stuff.
Bro,
now,
I'm
Charlie.
so sorry. I've just been cracking up on my side because Hat is stood in the doorway in a flipping inflatable sumo suit, and I can hear the little air cannon that blows it up just filling up.
I can't. He's not filling it up. I can't turn it off.
We're almost done.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't even know where we go.
Plugs. So that was something that was brought for me as a Christmas present, and I forgot at my mum's. And when I went to go pick up my stuff, they brought it down. Yeah, plugs. Normal Instagram Charlie_MCM, M for mother, C then M for mother. Visuals page.
C for what? C for Charlie.
Yeah, C for Charlie. Visual page is at Visuals by Charlie. My website will be in the link below. The description below. The link will be there. It's just been completely revamped, so go take a look at that. And my Twitter is the same as my Oh, wait, no. I've just messed up my Twitter and my Instagram. My Twitter is Charlie_MCM and my Instagram is CharlieMCM20. Yeah. So Twitter Charlie_MCM, Instagram CharlieMCM20.
We did also just create a Patreon for the channel. Not necessarily to ask for donations now.
If you want to donate, go ahead.
If you want to. Yeah, exactly. If you want to donate, that's appreciated. But we do plan on getting some extra content out there. So polls. You can ask us questions to answer on the podcast. We're gonna post behind the scenes stuff like our notes before each podcast. So yeah, if you want that little bit more, it's £5 a month to subscribe to the Patreon. We also have a Twitch and a Mixer, and unfortunately, and a TikTok. I know the TikTok because I made it today. TikTok at Storm in a Teacup podcast. Yeah. But yeah, Twitch and Mixer is escaping me, but all of those will be in the links in the description. And just so we don't keep you any longer, because it has been a long one, I think we're finally finished. I don't know if you've got anything else to say, Charlie, but I think we're done.
Anything else to say? Yeah, no, that's it. Thanks for all the lovely birthday messages that I know some of the people that are watching this have put in. So yeah, thank you. And anyone new to the podcast, welcome to the podcast. Enjoy. New episodes every Sunday.
My birthday's in February, by the way, so get your thumbs ready for February 3rd, just to give me all those happy birthday messages.
I have something to talk about next podcast.
On
Twitter, your birthday, my birthday.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
gosh, okay. I know what he's on about. So yeah, thank you for making it this far. I won't ask too much, but subscribe, please. Super appreciate. We'd super appreciate it. And yeah, we will speak to you whenever.
speak to
New
you
episodes
whenever.
every Sunday. So come along. We'll speak to you whenever. And
Goodbye.
goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye bye.